Hi, what's up everyone? Today we are going to look at top 10 richest crime lords in history. Criminals over the years have made empires worth millions of dollars. These crime lords have made their empires out of several different illegal sources. Terrorism, drug trafficking, human trafficking, gambling and whatnot. These crime godfather and mafia bosses did them all. Here is a list of 10 of the richest crime lords in the history. 10. Joseph Kennedy, estimated net worth, $400 million. Yes, you guessed it right, the father of the 35th U.S. President John F. Kennedy, Joseph P. Kennedy. By looking at his face, one would not get slightest of the ideas of him being a criminal, but as it turns out, he is one, and not just a random street criminal. During Prohibition period, he was a bootlegger, and he had enough alcohol to serve to the whole country. He was close with some of the biggest crime families of the world. Add to that his relations with other political, wealthy, and influential personalities, and you might get an idea of how smoothly he managed all his crime. 9. Meyer Lansky, estimated net worth, $400 million. Meyer Lansky, also known by his nickname, Mob's Accountant, was the founder of one of the biggest organized crime mafia in the history of the United States. He made his money through gambling, and had shares in several casinos in Las Vegas, Cuba, London. He made millions of dollars out of gambling. He worked closely with the most famous mafia members in the world. When he died, his total wealth came out to be merely $10,000, which means that he still has millions hidden away even after being gone more than 30 years. 8. Griselda Blanco, estimated net worth, $500 million. You have to have the nerves and brood of steel and heart as hard as a rock being a woman, to be in a list populated with men and in a business that is nowhere near to be considered to be run by a woman. That's exactly how the Colombian drug trafficker Griselda Blanco was. She belonged to the infamous Medellin cartel and was responsible for the supply of cocaine from Colombia to Miami. Often referred to as the cocaine godmother, the Black Widow, the queen of narco-trafficking, she had a murder to her name at an age of 11. She had also killed all 3 of her husbands. 7. Anthony Salerno, estimated net worth, $600 million. Anthony Salerno, also known as Fat Tony, was the boss of the Genovese crime family. He was a notorious criminal and made his wealth through mostly gambling and loan sharking. He used to earn more than $1 million a year through loan sharking operations merely. He is also accused of dozens of murders. He spent much of his life hiding money, and he's known for his cigar smoking and pajamas. He also distributed Christmas cards with his pictures and pajamas on it. 6. Joaquin El Chapo, estimated net worth, $1 billion. Joaquin Archivaldo Guzman Lura, better known as El Chapo, was one of the biggest drug lords in the history. He was the head of the Mexican crime organization called the Sinaloa Cartel. He's one of the most successful, most famous drug lords of all time in Mexico, and his net worth speaks for this fact. With a net worth of $1 billion, he's been named by the Forbes magazine as the most powerful drug lord and one of the richest in Mexico in several editions. He has escaped the prison twice and was captured in 2016 for the 3rd time. And it's possible he's still dealing drugs from behind the bars. It's estimated that his worth is actually closer to $5 billion. 5. Al Capone, estimated net worth, $1 billion plus. Alphonse Gabriel Capone, also known as Al Capone, was another major drug kingpin of the 20th century. He was the head of the infamous Italian-American mafia called the Chicago Outfit or the Chicago Mafia, who he also founded. His regime and his drug mafia were on their peak during the Prohibition period in the United States. His cartel was involved in multiple criminal activities such as murdering, tax evasion, loan sharking, gambling, prostitution, extortion and political corruption. His net worth of over $1 billion shows exactly how powerful and wealthy this mafia was. 4. Susumu Ishii, estimated net worth, $1.5 billion. Susumu Ishii was the second godfather of the Japanese gang Inagawakai Yakuza. Ishii began his life as part of the military, and also took part in the World War II. But after the war, he left military and joined the Inagawakai gang. His criminal activities included ruthless murdering, gambling and real estate scams, through which he collected millions of dollars and owned several properties, golf courses, and many expensive hotels around the world. During the 80s, almost all the money transactions in Japan included Ishii, which depicts how wealthy he was. 3. Carlos Enrique Leder Rivas, estimated net worth, $2.7 billion. Another drug lord from Colombia makes this list of the top criminal lords in the world. Carlos Leder, who co-founded one of the biggest drug cartels this world has ever seen, the Medellin cartel, along with some other drug lords including Pablo Escobar, is now incarcerated in a prison in the United States. He had an estimated worth of around $2.7 billion. Leder, along with other members of the cartel, transported most of the cocaine to America through Miami, and his business didn't stop there. He provided cocaine to most part of the South American continent, Canada, and some parts of Europe as well. At their peak, the Medellin cartel provided more than 80% of the cocaine of the world. 2. Pablo Escobar, estimated net worth, $25 billion. Another one of the founding fathers of the Medellin cartel, Pablo Escobar, makes the list. Pablo Emilio Escobar Gaviria was born in 1949 in Colombia, and would perhaps go down as the biggest, most powerful, wealthiest, most feared and the most influential drug kingpin in the history of this world. As mentioned previously, the Medellin cartel provided more than 80% of the cocaine supply of the world in the 80s, and Escobar was the one who managed all this. Unbelievably, he was one of the most loved people in Colombia as well, as he helped many poor people and was considered as Robin Hood among them. With a wealth of nearly $25 billion, he indirectly controlled the police from his self-made luxurious prison in 1992. He was killed in a police raid in 1993. 1. Amado Carrillo Fuentes, estimated net worth, $25 billion. Unsurprisingly, another drug trafficker leads the wealthiest criminals of all time. Amado Fuentes was the head of the Mexican drug cartel, Juarez Cartel. He was called El Señor de los Cielos, as he owned several planes to transport his drugs to their required stations. He owned multiple 727 planes. He was famous for being responsible for the deaths of what many assume is thousands before his own death from poor health. Thank you for watching the video. If you like the video, please like and comment. Don't forget to subscribe my channel to watch the latest video. See you on next video.